Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary. It looked for a second as though our referee Michael Oliver was trying to sync the start of this second half with the other game at Anfield, but it looks as though we started about 30 seconds ahead of the game at Anfield. Wolves just seem to be taking a little bit longer to come out, but City have got work to do here. They're a goal down. As it stands, they are still going to win the league because Liverpool are only drawing at Wolves, but you don't want to bank on that for the whole of the second half. City have got to get the job done themselves on the attack straight away down the left with the ball whipped in by Phil Foden. It eludes everyone in the box though, and City need to start with some energy at the start of the second half. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Matt Guy taking you through the action, and Matt, City enough possession in the first half, but very little end product.
Yeah, one shot on target, a weak header from Laporte, as Foden showed that instant intention in the second half to fire the ball across the face of goal, and it did just that, couldn't find a teammate. And Pep Guardiola has given Fernandinho the sack at half-time, hasn't he, Paul?
He has, yeah. I mean, it seemed like a strange decision to sort of give Fernandinho a sort of testimonial stroke exhibition sort of end to his City career when you think the City still had a job to do, but Fernandinho is off. We'll just see this move from City now as they're trying to start something down the left, and then I'll confirm that it is Zinchenko that's come on and how that's affected the formation. But here is Zinchenko now, the Ukrainian international, plays it short towards Rodri, and then Zinchenko's gone on the overlap, left-footed ball into the box, which is volleyed clear, first of all by Chambers, and then flicked away by Douglas Luiz back towards the halfway line. And then it's João Cancelo back on his more preferred, I would say, right-hand side, being challenged here by Buendia, who puts it out for a throw. So for City, it is Ederson in goal with a back four of João Cancelo, John Stones, Emerick Laporte and Oleg Zinchenko, who comes on for Fernandinho. So Stones now back over in that central defensive role. City on the attack again with a ball in from Zinchenko, but a lot of whip on that. But it's a comfortable save in the end for Robin Olsen. So as I say, it's a back four of Stones, back four of João Cancelo, Stones, Laporte and Zinchenko, with De Bruyne, Rodri and Bernardo Silva in midfield, with Mahrez, Foden and Gabriel Jesus as the attacking three. No change for Villa, so it is Robin Olsen in goal with a back four of Matt Cash, the goal scorer, Callum Chambers, Tyrone Mings and Luca Digne. The three in midfield, John McGinn, Douglas Luiz and Jacob Ramsey, with Emiliano Buendia, Philippe Countinho and Ollie Watkins as the attacking three. And Villa can expect to see a lot of can expect to be in their own half at the start of this, I would say.
Yep, they're going to be defending for majority of the time as Zinchenko plays a good ball.
He does, into Foden, and now Jesus breaks into the penalty area, lays it back to Foden, who lifts the ball into the 6-yard box looking for Mahrez. It's away from Mahrez, it drops to De Bruyne, who rushed his shot, and he lifts it quite a good few yards over the bar.
Yeah, it bounced up towards hip height, didn't it, for De Bruyne? Difficult technique, but there is the instant impact, isn't it? A left footer on the left-hand side, playing it down the line into the feet of the midfielders in front of him, and that's Zinchenko. Cancelo will do the same on the other side. Much more attacking threat from City already in the second half.
Absolutely, yes. A goal at the Amex as well, as Joel Veltman, a rare goal scorer there for Brighton, equalises in the game against West Ham. As I say, Leicester do lead against Southampton early on in the second half with that goal from Maddison. No other goals to tell you of in the second half as it stands. We're going to get our first booking of the afternoon, and it's Tyrone Mings, and he doesn't even say a word, I think, which says that he knew he was going to get a booking, and it's number 11 in terms of yellow cards for Mings this season.
He's got all the athletic attributes, but you just know a yellow card is coming with him, and it's a really silly challenge. He dives into it, and therefore the City player beats him and turns him, and he has to drag him down.
He does, and that's a bit of a tightrope now for Mings, because it's only 3.5 minutes into the second half. He's got a lot to worry about now, as here come City now down the right-hand side with João Cancelo into De Bruyne, back towards Mahrez, who stays on that right-hand edge of the penalty area, trying to find the space to put a cross in. Can't quite find the space though, and switches play now over towards the left-hand side as Zinchenko now being blocked by Cash. He goes back towards Bernardo Silva. Silva now back in towards Zinchenko, under pressure there, breaking into the penalty area. He skips away from two Villa players, then cuts back onto his right foot, lays it off to Mahrez. What a challenge that is from Digne. Pretty much throws his body in front of Mahrez, who on his left foot from 5 yards wasn't going to miss.
Yeah, best two players on the field there were both left backs. Zinchenko with a great drive down the left hand side, but how many times have we said it from Digne this afternoon? He's the man at the far post that's getting in there. This time has to track his man inside. Brilliant tackle.
Superb tackle, and here come City now down the right with João Cancelo. It's a great ball in, and if anything it just arrived a little bit too quickly for Gabriel Jesus. He's only a couple of yards out, but all he can do is lift it over the bar.
Yeah, it's a reaching effort, isn't it? It's fizzed beautifully by Cancelo in towards that far post. He's dropped off the shoulder of Chambers, who missed it, and I think he's slightly onside to the Brazilian in there, going with his weaker left boot. No, it was his right boot, and it hits the outside of it and goes over.
Yeah, it's almost like he's arrived at it a split second too early there. And head in hands, a grimace there from Pep Guardiola as he sees that chance go begging, and the looks of slight worry from the City fans are turning into out-and-out frustration now.
Yeah, he's got to score that, and when those chances get missed, you just keep thinking to yourself, as a fan, don't you? It's not our day today. It's not our day.
Not, but here comes City again. They've still got plenty of time to make it their day as Zinchenko finds De Bruyne in the box. Now Foden with the outside of the boot goes towards Mahrez at the edge of the area, lays it off now to Rodrigo, who really puts his foot through that, but he ends up dragging it wide. And potentially City have got to try and score here, and that would be the case in any way. But now, especially, Matt Guy, things are changing quite dramatically at Anfield.
It looks as though Sadio Mane has got his second goal of the game and put Liverpool ahead. So that means, as it stands, Liverpool would win the league on 92 points with Manchester City on 90. That means if it stays with 3 points to Liverpool, City have to win.
City have to win, and the domestic treble is pretty much on the line now for Liverpool, which at one point seemed completely unlikely. But now Liverpool lead, and all of a sudden things could be looking very interesting. Just as I say that, though, we've just got information that there's a VAR check in that game at Anfield, so potentially that goal may still be chalked off. But as it stands, it has been given, and we'll wait to see what's happened there. As
we saw the replay on our independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary cameras, it looked a tight one, didn't it? As though Mane may have been offside.
Given offside.
Ruled out, yeah.
It has been ruled offside. So City fans are back on top of the league now after a couple of minutes of being second.
I don't think they know it.
I don't think they've realised it. They might not even have time to realise that the goal's been disallowed. But once that filters through all their scoring apps, they'll realise that things aren't quite as bad as they were. But they still have to get a goal because, of course, it's still so early in the game. You just fancy that if Liverpool have scored inside the first 6 minutes at Anfield, they could score again.
Yeah, absolutely. You fancy their chances, don't you? I mean, before the game, you'd fancy both teams to win this one. It's just a case of the pressure. And today, there was definitely more pressure on City, given the fact that they had to win and they were the team ahead. But you fancy Pep Guardiola's side to still come back in this? You
certainly would. And until Villa score a second or even a third, you wouldn't really rule it out, would you? So City have certainly got enough about them. But that scare, that warning from Anfield certainly would have gone through the Etihad Stadium, and certainly if the City fans can find out instantly that there's a goal been scored, then you could be sure there'll be one of the coaching or technical staff on that bench will be manning the app as well, just to see what's happening. But in the meantime, Villa have edged forward here, and they're going to win themselves a free kick, are they? Well, Digne thinks that he was stopped as he was going on the overlap with the pass from Buendia, but Michael Oliver disagrees.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been fabulous, hasn't he, Digne, so far in this game? He thinks he should have been a foul. The referee just saying it was a crossing of bodies, wasn't it? He's the man, of course, that got the assist for Marikash in the first half with that left-footed cross, and he's been a stalwart in defence.
He has. I mean, it's a great signing for Villa. It just goes to show that perhaps he could see the writing on the wall at Goodison, and also the chance to work with Steven Gerrard, perhaps just the idea of a change of scenery at a different club. But he's been a very good signing for Villa, that's for sure. As João Cancelo now whips the ball in, and it does get a touch off the Villa man last. It was Chambers who's got on the ball, and Chambers has been involved today.
He has. He's blocked a lot of shots and crosses and passes in and around the edge of the box. That one's a little bit erratic, though. He swings a right boot at it. Thankfully for him, he gets a good contact. I think it came off a City man first, which means he slightly slices it into the crowd, but yeah, slightly erratic.
It's slightly erratic. Short ball now from Cancelo into De Bruyne. His cross into the area is cleared out towards the edge of the box. Rodrigo now keeping it alive, finds Bernardo Silva, and now Zinchenko coming in on the left-hand side. His cross is charged down. The Villa players feel as though it came back off Zinchenko, but Michael Oliver doesn't agree with that. It's a corner to City, which is taken very quickly. Ball whipped in now, and it's aimed at John Stones. It loops up in the air as Callum Chambers was challenging him, and Olsen makes a save.
Callum Chambers, that is exceptional. It's a brilliant quick corner, isn't it, from City to catch Villa unawares, and Stones is unmarked, chasing in towards the edge of the box. Chambers stays strong in the air, gets a great head on that one. They both collide shoulder to shoulder. They both get back up. Proper solid players. Watkins goes through on goal.
He does. Oh, well, this is a great. Well, the off-tube pictures that we were getting, we were still getting replays of that last City chance. When we went back to live pictures, all of a sudden Watkins is going through the middle, and we'll now see a replay of what happened here. Robin Olsen, Watkins can't be offside because he's inside his own half when this ball is played. He chases it down, and the City defence were nowhere to be seen. Watkins, in the end, scuffing it wide as Arsenal now go 3-1 up at home to Everton. But here at the Etihad, 55 minutes gone, independent off-tube studio commentary. It is still Man City 0, Villa 1 as Luca Digne challenging with João Cancelo. and looks like he's given away the free kick.
Yeah, it's the first time he's really been beaten today. Philippe Countinho seeing a replay. Great ball out from Olsen from his hands straight upfield. He's in behind Laporte, nods it down in front of him brilliantly, and he chops it down into the ground and just drags it wide. That's 2 one-on-ones he's had to make it 2-0 in this game.
Great chance there for Watkins. He couldn't take it, and City, they're making another change here, and it looks like Riyad Mahrez is going to get the hook. He is off, and Raheem Sterling is on. Yeah,
so Raheem Sterling probably to maybe go down the middle or left-hand side. It may be a switch around up front, but I mean, Raheem Sterling, he's got 13 goals this season. He's only behind De Bruyne. Could be his moment again.
Could be, as De Bruyne now stands over this one. And City with plenty of players in the box as De Bruyne aims at the back post, and it's Tyrone Mings this time with the telling header, just getting enough of a deflection on it to put it out for a corner.
It's a difficult technique, isn't it? He's sprinting towards his own goal there. It could have been any touch into his own net, but he just about flicks it out around the corner for a corner kick.
He does indeed, and it's going to be a corner kick now, as we can see Leeds have taken the lead away at Brentford. It's Rafinha with the penalty there for Leeds. Potentially his last game, whether Leeds stay up or not. But here comes City now after that short corner. It's Bernardo Silva's ball into the box, which is straight at Robin Olsen. Comfortable save for him there. So as it stands, Man City are still going to be the champions because Liverpool are only drawing. But it also, as it stands, Leeds United are going to stay up. They are now 3 points clear of Burnley, who are still a goal down at home to Newcastle. So it looks as though Leeds are going to be okay for the time being. Of course, still plenty of time left across all the games, and all 10 games are available on our service. But here at the Etihad, it's Man City in possession on the halfway line with João Cancelo going back towards John Stones. It's Cancelo again with the ball down the right-hand side, headed away by Digne, and out for a throw as the expressions on the City fans' faces getting more and more concerned here. Almost that fan we saw there almost had tears in his eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a little bit early for that. You've still got 35, best part of 35 minutes left.
And let's not forget that when they won the league, they were losing the league before, as we entered injury time in that final game, where Manchester United had actually beaten Sunderland and were already pretty much celebrating the title when they suddenly realised that City had scored twice through Dzeko, and then that now infamous goal from Sergio Aguero. But here comes João Cancelo now down the right-hand side, drops the shoulder and gets away from Coutinho, then feeds Sterling. Sterling goes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Strong challenge there from Tyrone Mings, out for a City corner.
Yeah, Mings doing what he needed to do, but Sterling brilliant on the shoulder. He's so quick in those little 5-yard pockets in behind the defence, isn't he? Showing his impact already. Yeah,
Arsenal now 4-1 up against Everton. They're pretty much wrapping things up here as De Bruyne's ball in, headed away by Mings, only towards the edge of the area, headed back in by João Cancelo, swept away this time and back towards the halfway line where Oleg Zinchenko is waiting. Mohamed Salah didn't start for Liverpool, but he is coming on the field now with about half an hour to go. We've just seen a quick a graphic of that, so Salah will be on in a moment, and that potentially spices things up even more as City still can't. City haven't really had a clear-cut chance. There was that ball in for Jesus. That was a good chance, but other than that, there's a lot of possession, but still not much end product.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to wear down Villa, aren't they? And it's really anxious stuff for the City fans who keep putting their heads in their scarves and their heads in their hands, trying to cheer their team on. But it's so hard to do so when you're feeling so many nerves.
You are, and the longer this goes on, and as I say, if Liverpool were to get a second, then that could potentially really filter down to the players as well, and they could become just a little bit more desperate.
If City score before 10 minutes to go, you fancy them to get another one, but as you say, Villa are holding really strong at the moment, and this could continue.
Certainly could. So far, Liverpool drawing against Wolves, City losing here against Villa, Brentford losing at home to Leeds, and Burnley losing at home to Newcastle. So as it stands, Leeds United are going to be okay this season. But here come City now. João Cancelo with the ball towards Sterling, but the ball is overhit.
Yeah, he's played a couple of balls like that this afternoon, hasn't he? First down the left-hand side, he's looked not only for Foden but for Jesus down the left and just drilled the ball out for a goal kick. Now down the right-hand side after his switch wings, and Pep Guardiola is looking a little bit anxious, chatting to his team on the sidelines.
He does, yeah. That style that Guardiola has, it's almost like he's sort of telling. He's almost like he's telling on his players to his coaches. Look what he did there. Look what he did there. Like he almost can't believe it. But yeah, they'll certainly be feeling this now. The City bench. Half an hour to go in this game, and Villa now pressing here as John Stones tries to play out from the back. Goes square to Rodri, who just drops the shoulder and gets away from Douglas Luiz. But Villa are pressing higher up the field now as Coutinho almost picks that pass off from Rodri. It's Laporte now bringing the ball out for Man City. He finds Bernardo Silva, just crosses the halfway line. Sterling plays it first time to De Bruyne, cut out by Douglas Luiz, but good work there from Jesus to win the ball back, and then Watkins clips the back of Jesus, and it's it's going to be a free kick to Man City, as we're getting word that there's a second goal for Newcastle at Turf Moor. And if that was to go in, then I think Leeds could start to breathe a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, unfortunate for Watkins, as Jesus was almost already going down. There may have been a foul just before that, but yeah, that could be that for Burnley, couldn't it? Second goal for Newcastle if it stays as it is.
Quick ball now whipped in from De Bruyne, and it's hooked away and out for a corner kick. It's that man again, Callum Chambers. As we're getting a replay now of that Newcastle goal. It's Saint-Maximin. Again, there's no marking whatsoever there of Callum Wilson. Saint-Maximin finds his man, and it's Wilson that finds the net. So it's Burnley 0, Newcastle 2. And Leeds now looking even better now with a 3-point advantage. The goal difference isn't going to make any difference. But as it stands now, Leeds are going to be okay. Referee Michael Oliver has just stopped play here as that ball was whipped in. Ollie Watkins, well, I must say, I felt worried for Watkins until he sort of looked up to see where everybody was, and now he seems to be in slightly less pain there. I don't want to be too cynical, but it doesn't look as serious as it first did.
No, I didn't initially see him go down. I was concentrating on Buendia's header because I thought Buendia, one of the shortest men on the field at the front post, did really well, to be quite honest. But yeah, Watkins seems okay. It's maybe a tactic of Villa to slow things down. They were doing that in the first half where Olsen was being told off, wasn't he? And Mings had to be called off.
Yeah, that was my sort of diplomatic way of saying that, that I think that Watkins was just perhaps stretching that a bit too much, as Spurs look like they've got a third goal at Carrow Road, so there'll be no miracle for Arsenal. Spurs are going to get the job done and finish fourth in the league.
We'll have to see if that one's going to be Son if they get the third goal.
Yeah, of course, Son looking to try and get the golden boot, which really would be an achievement, considering that certainly in terms of most fantasy football, he's regarded as a midfielder, as City now win themselves a goal kick when Villa were asking the question, is the long ball played into the box? Watkins, I mean, there is contact with Laporte. I suppose the question is, does Laporte push Watkins, or does Laporte stand his ground and Watkins sort of roll off him? I think probably a little bit more of option B there.
Yeah, I think so. I think Villa feel as though it's a little bit of a double whammy that they've not got the corner at the end of it, but there may have been a couple of handballs in there from Watkins and Coutinho anyway. Yeah,
so in the end it was just given as a goal kick. City down the left here with Zinchenko. His pass is blocked, and the ball is cleared down the left-hand side, and it looks like it wasn't Kulusevski there, Matt.
It looks like.
Sorry, it wasn't Son, I should say.
Yeah, it wasn't Son. It looks like Kulusevski. So Salah onto the field for Liverpool, but doesn't necessarily need to score for the golden boot, but does to get his side ahead, of course.
Absolutely, yes. There's still so much to be decided in this last half an hour. As it stands, the relegation battle seems to be a little bit more set, with Leeds looking good now. But in terms of the title, it's still all to play for. City on the attack. That ball from Rodri is overhit. Is it going to stay in play? It's not. It's out for a goal kick, and time ticking down slowly for City here.
I think that shows the nerves. You don't usually see Rodri in an inside right position looking to whip the ball in from deep. That's a De Bruyne position, isn't it? Not a Rodri position, and he really does not hit that well and scuffs it out to play. And De Bruyne is not happy with Callum Chambers taking his time here. De Bruyne will chase back into midfield, but the referee's trying to keep things calm.
He is. I mean, it's to say, football's unique in that it has this continuous clock. In any other sport, they would just wait for the ball to be back in play before gameplay will be restarted. But again, those are masters or are the TV companies. They wouldn't like the idea of every match finishing 15 or 20 minutes after it's supposed to. So we just have to sort of make do with it. But now a great chance here for Villa down the left as Coutinho dummies the ball in forward towards Ramsey. Watkins then, he wants an age to get past Ederson. He is in an offside position in the end. But Watkins, he's had half chances here as this ball is played. You can see he was always offside there.
If you've had Ollie Watkins in your fantasy team these last couple of years, you'll know that he likes to get caught offside and score goals that get ruled out. There's another. Absolutely.
It's a trait of his that he's always trying to stay on the shoulder, but perhaps just trying to push it a little bit too much. City down forward with Rodri finds Kevin De Bruyne, whose pass to Sterling is too strong and wide, and the nerves are creeping into all the City players now.
Yeah, he's not happy there, De Bruyne, not only with himself, but a little bit with Sterling for not being on his toes to try and reach and grab that ball in at any means possible. But yeah, absolutely. 25 or 26 minutes to go, and De Bruyne making silly passes like that.
Interesting stat as far as Liverpool are concerned. They haven't had an effort on target in the second half so far. They've had 3 shots, all of them have been off target. Wolves have yet to have an effort in the second half. So it looks like it's one of those stop-start sort of games at Anfield where not too much is happening, and Liverpool do need to try and break that deadlock.
Second half, of course, at half-time, Milner came on for Thiago, who was injured. Jose Sarr went off injured for John Ruddy, and Salah came on for Jota. So,
yeah, it's to say it's all sort of bubbling under nicely now for a very exciting conclusion to this season. But City, they need to just try and do a little bit more. They've got enough possession, but it's the quality of the possession that's lacking right now. As Rodri goes out towards the right-hand side, he does find Sterling, who's under pressure from Digne. He goes back towards João Cancelo. Here is Sterling again. Cancelo trying to go on the overlap. Sterling trying to find him, but that's good play from Douglas Luiz. Reads the pace of that pass very well, and then sweeps the ball up towards the halfway line, which is headed down, and then Watkins finds Coutinho, and suddenly it's 2-on-2 here, and Watkins is onside this time. He holds it up, and then switching play over towards the right-hand side. And to not exaggerate, he's missed Coutinho by about 10 yards there.
Yeah, he has. It's a really poor ball from Watkins. He does well to just wait for a second and see that Coutinho is eventually in space, as opposed to trying to force it through initially. I think the initial header was actually nodded down from Stones accidentally to Coutinho, but still the chances are there for Villa on the counter-attack, and they will keep presenting themselves as City throw more men forward.
They are trying to throw more men forward, and as I say, Villa are holding very firm so far. Not really had to play too many offsides in this game, Villa. They're quite happy for City to get close to their box, but they're just flooding that area to make it as difficult as possible for City to create anything. As De Bruyne now finding Foden, who's had a very quiet second half. I know that Mahrez got the hook. I was thinking that maybe Foden might have been more of a candidate to go off, but his ball in does find Jesus, who turns away from Chambers. His shot, though, is charged down by Callum Chambers.
Good ball from Foden into Jesus, and a good idea of the turn from Jesus as well. Quite quick to his left-hand side, but Callum Chambers was on it.
He was on it as City take the throw quickly. Foden now trying to dance away from a couple of Villa players. Could shut me up here by actually doing something here, Foden, but then his ball into Zinchenko. He tries a quick 1-2 there with Jesus, just not enough space in the box. It's cleared towards the halfway line, and here come City again now, down the left with De Bruyne. He finds Phil Foden, players waiting inside the penalty area. It's Rodrigo now getting towards the edge of the box. Was he brought down by Coutinho? The referee says yes, and although the Villa players as a committee are trying to argue, I don't think that Michael Oliver's going to change his mind.
Yeah, Villa can't believe that one's being given a free kick. We'll just see a replay here. He might get a tiny nick on the ball. It's a bit of a silly challenge to make, though.
I think that we'll see from this angle. I think the ball might have taken a slight nick off Coutinho, but I think he might have got Rodri first there.
Yeah, it's a brilliant chance as well for City, isn't it? It's got to be De Bruyne, surely.
It's got to be De Bruyne. It's slightly over on the left-hand side. If this was on the right, we'd be thinking maybe Zinchenko. Mahrez, if he'd still been on the field, but as it is over on the left, it does suit the right footer, and this is absolutely Kevin De Bruyne territory, as Bernardo Silva is there as well. But this is a sort of chance that City have been waiting for. Haven't been able to do anything really from open play in terms of testing Robin Olsen in this second half. Could this be the chance that City have been dreaming about to try and just settle the nerves in this final day? As De Bruyne over the wall, and it's just wide. Olsen there with his hands up can see that the ball was going away from goal, and they'll be happy to see that one go away for a goal kick, as Spurs have their fourth goal, and it is Heung-min Son. So Heung-min Son potentially could be becoming our golden boot winner as City make a midfield change. Bernardo Silva is off. Ilkay Gundogan's on, and there's also going to be a change in the commentary as we are now 3/4 of the way through the game. It will be Matt to take us through to full time.
Yeah, cheers, Paul. That goal for Son, of course, brings him level with Salah now, so there would be joints as coming into the final quarter of the game. And it all comes down to this. Bernardo Silva not being his brightest game in a City shirt, I have to say. It's been one of City's finer players this season. But on comes Gundogan, the experience of Gundogan as Coutinho cuts inside here, whips towards goal! Aston Villa score a second as the pictures were panning towards Heung-min Son, who scored at Tottenham against Norwich. It's Coutinho, the man, the ex-Liverpool man. How has he done this?
Unbelievable. It's all going, and you can see there's some City fans going towards the exits already. There's still 21 minutes to go in this game, chaps, but some City fans have seen enough already, and we do apologise. We're sort of duty-bound by the TV pictures that we're getting. We were getting a replay of what was happening at Carrow Road, and suddenly we pan back to pictures here at the Etihad, and Manchester City are now trailing by 2-0. It's a long clearance from Robin Olsen. It goes over the top, And as this one's headed on by Watkins, Coutinho takes it down brilliantly, and then he drills it into that near post. It's such a good finish, because you would expect him to open his body up Coutinho style and go top corner, but he goes to that near post, and Edison was never expecting that.
No, Philippe Countinho, that is a fantastic. I just saw a lady in the crowd. As soon as Coutinho cut inside, she put her head in her hands. She knew what came next. Coutinho cutting inside on his right foot and whipping it to that near post. It's a brilliant finish from the Brazilian. Watkins does it brilliantly initially against Rodri to head the ball on. De Bruyne tries to clap his troops on here, but Leicester have taken a 2-goal lead against Southampton. Burnley have pulled one back against Newcastle, and I tell you what, this Premier League is hotting up. Liverpool, of course, are still drawing with Wolves, and City come forward now. It's cleared out from Ramsey, but it's all on Anfield. Surely Liverpool have to win now.
Liverpool have to win now, and they'll certainly know that the scoreline is what it is here now at the Etihad, which potentially puts more pressure on Jurgen Klopp's side. But suddenly that quadruple, which a few weeks ago people were joking about and saying, oh yeah, of course, quadruple, but now all of a sudden it looks very much on. Liverpool just need one goal and they'll have the domestic treble with the Champions League final still to come.
Yeah, Gundogan trying to come forward. It's just chopped out for a moment as McGinn tries to play a risky pass. It's won by Rodri. Now Foden, quick Marseille turn, drives past a couple of men. Beautiful play from Foden, just hits that one over the bar. What an effort from Phil Foden. He's calling for a corner kick in the end. I think a goal kick's been given, but that is his silky skill, isn't it? Brilliant play. And we talk about ex-Liverpool players. Of course, we've all spoken about Steven Gerrard at the helm of Aston Villa today, but Conor Cody leading Wolves at Anfield, drawing against Liverpool. It's one of those, you have to stay professional. You don't want to self-sabotage.
Well, no, of course not. And I think that from Cody's point of view, he'll certainly look as though he needs to get the job done here at Anfield to try and restrict Liverpool as much as possible. But say there's going to be a change here now in this Aston Villa midfield, with Philippe Countinho off and Gerrard just trying to shut up shop a little bit. It's Marvellous Nakamba on in his place.
Yeah, absolutely. Marvellous Nakamba, a more deeper lying player, isn't he? So he comes onto the field, will perhaps slot into the midfield somewhere alongside Luiz and McGinn, maybe a 5 across the midfield with Buendia out on one side, or maybe it might be a 4-4-2 with Buendia staying upfield. Watkins has gone down with a head injury now. I think the ball went up for a couple of headers and it cannoned away and knocked him in the face, but it's not the first head injury we've seen today. It's
not, no, and you can see Guardiola's already getting frustrated there, but it's just one of the things. They're just going to have to wait their turn until until play can be restarted. This really would be a huge shock if City, considering that City had a 10-point lead at one stage in the league as well. This is really unbelievable that it's even got to this, that with less than 20 minutes of the season, Liverpool could still nick the title.
Yeah, absolutely. It's around about 18 minutes to go, all hands on heads inside the Etihad. They've seen similar moments like this before. It's not all over. The Premier League can throw up absolutely anything. Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa leading 2-0 away from home at Manchester City. As the play continues now, it's fired forward in towards Watkins, but it's a good header away from John Stones, as Buendia chests one down, tries to look for some support, finds Luiz, the ex-City man, just knocks it back to the Argentine. Dina looking down the left-hand side, Buendia looking to chop it inside, but City hounding like wolves as they pack forward. It's now De Bruyne with the ball at feet. It's 4-on-3. He's still got the ball, looking right, looking left, goes out to the right into Sterling, squares it back in towards De Bruyne on the penalty spot, leaning back on the half volley and over the bar.
Over the bar, chance has been and gone. City's time is, there's still plenty of time for them to get a goal, but whether or not there's enough time for them to get 2 or 3, that's where things become difficult. De Bruyne realised that there might be an offside in all of this anyway, but as the ball was played back to him, he hits it away over the bar, as Spurs really are giving Norwich a proper send-off from the Premier League, aren't they? They've gone 5 up now, just waiting for confirmation of who that goal scorer was. We're also seeing this Burnley goal. It was a Cornet effort which was charged down. It then dropped back to Maxwell Cornet, and Burnley still haven't given up the ghost in that game at all.
Son with a second for Spurs, so he now leads the Golden Boot on his own. What can Mohamed Salah do at Anfield for Liverpool, as there's a foul here against Villa? City were breaking forward. No yellow card brought out. I think it might be in Nakamba, his first foul that he's made, of course, after coming on a couple of moments ago. And around about 16 and a half minutes to go. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 2. De Bruyne over the ball on the free kick. Puts his right arm aloft, whips it in towards the penalty spot. It's towards the far post. Gundogan looking to get there. And I think it comes off the German last and goes out for a goal kick, as we see a replay here. Son scores from distance. It's a beautiful goal.
It is an absolute beauty from Heung-min Son. He is now the Golden Boot leader, But wouldn't it just be in the script that Mo Salah then levels the Golden Boot race with a goal that then potentially gives Liverpool the title?
Yeah, it's all pressure on the Egyptian, absolutely. Liverpool still drawing at home after trailing initially to Wolves. Sadio Mane pegged one back. They scored a second early in the second half. Through Mane, he was adjudged to have been offside. So Son now with 23 goals, Salah with 22 in the race for the Golden Boot.
Absolutely, as Southampton get a goal back away at Leicester City. The only reason I mention that is because that game is a full 6 minutes ahead of ours. Just shows you how late we were in starting our second half. But City, with all the possession, but still not much of an end product.
Yeah, this game started the second half a similar time to the Liverpool one and the two relegation ones at Burnley and Leeds, as Foden down the left-hand side, tracked all the way by Nakamba, looking for some support. We saw shots of Jack Grealish on the sidelines, former Villa man, as it's chopped forward. Great ball looking in behind, but Digne, cuts it out beautifully. It was a great looking ball from Rodri down the right-hand side as João Cancelo wins it back now with De Bruyne. 3 men in the box here for City. Fed to the edge into Jesus, tries to turn quickly, drives to his right-hand side, finds Sterling up against Digne on the right flank. 15 minutes of regulation time to go. Sterling goes down the line, looks to stand one up towards the far post. Over Olsen, it's Gundogan at the far post. City have got one back.
City have got one back. It's the goal they desperately needed here, and it's just the right time as well with 15 minutes to go. Just give City enough time to really get back into this game. Sterling down the right-hand side, drops the shoulder to get away from Digne, just gets enough on that cross. Olsen won't be pleased with this. The goalkeeper's just watching that glide over his head. I think it's high, it's low enough for him to try and do something, but he's just watching that sail past him, and then it's a powerful header from Gundogan.
Yeah, well, you look at substitutions. I guarantee that Bernardo Silva probably wouldn't have been coming in at the far post. He's not a header of the ball, is he? But Gundogan, the man that's come on for him, was lurking at that far stick and sends the Etihad into raptures. What can they do? They still need one more goal as it stands to, they don't need another goal in the sense that Liverpool need to win at Anfield, don't they? But they need goals. They can't let Liverpool have it in their hands.
No, absolutely. City want to be winning this title off their own back rather than as I say that, though, Zinchenko lays the ball back towards the goalkeeper Ederson, which very nearly was under hit. Just about reached Ederson though, and he's able to clear the ball up towards the halfway line.
It's going to be a nervy atmosphere at the Etihad and at Anfield as Leicester go 3-1 up against Southampton. The referee, Michael Oliver, needs to keep on top of this one. It's down the right-hand side. It goes towards Sterling, in behind Mings. It's Jesus, then wins it, plays it off. Mings out for a corner kick. Mings is furious with that. I think he thinks there should have been a foul as the City fans roar on, trying to cheer their team on. They've done similar things like this before. Can they do it again? There's blue flares that have been lit inside the Etihad. City 1, Villa 2. De Bruyne, corner, out-swinging ball, far post. It's won by a City man. It stones into the ground. It goes down holding his left leg there. Will get himself back to his feet, but Jesus just couldn't get there.
No, Stones needs to carry on because City have used all three of their substitutions now with Zinchenko, Gundogan and Sterling coming on. You can see the live table as it stands now. City are going to win this title by 5 goals. It's a level on points with Liverpool, of course. And that's why there's all that pressure now on Liverpool to try and get that winner at Anfield. But here at the Etihad, it's a lot of work, as we could just see that. It looks like there may well be an equaliser for Brentford against Leeds United, so that suddenly spices things up down the bottom.
Absolutely. Gundogan just turns in midfield now. We look around and see goals in the other games flying in these final 15 minutes. It's going to be Zinchenko on the left-hand side, driving inside, looks to the near post, squares it to the edge of the box. It's Rodri! Into the back of the net. It's Rodri who's found the bottom corner, and City are back level.
City are back level. This title is swinging from one to another, but Manchester City with that goal, 2 goals in just a few minutes, and all of a sudden it looks very, very different at the Etihad Stadium. Those few fans that walked out of the Etihad when Villa went 2 up will be regretting this now, as we see from the left-hand side. Good work here from Zinchenko, lays the ball off to Rodri, and that's a superb strike. He really measures that one by the near post, but you can see the reaction of the couple of Villa players. They probably feel as though Olsen could do more with this.
Yeah, absolutely. One of them on the edge of the box is Jacob Ramsey, isn't it? He turns towards his goalkeeper. I tell you what, I feel as though for once it's Callum Chambers who's not quite in the right position. He should have been on that right-hand post to just tap that one away. It should not be going in from that position. There's no pressure on Rodri. He side-foots it into the bottom left-hand corner, and the City fans go crazy at the Etihad. They are now level and leading the title in terms of points by 1.
By 1, absolutely.
They were level before.
Absolutely. So it's a 1-point lead now for Manchester City. But of course, if Liverpool were to score against Wolves, Liverpool still go top. So things Still not done here for Manchester City, but when we spoke about 5-6 minutes ago that there may not be enough time for them to get 3 goals, well, I have to take that back now, because now there's clearly enough time. They've already got 2 of the 3.
Yeah, 69 minutes gone. Villa were 2-0 up, and there were only 20 minutes left to get 3 goals to absolutely seal the deal in the terms of the title race. Now they've got not too long, just over 10 minutes to get another one. It's fired over the top now. It's a shot towards goal as they're looking to ride on the crest of that wave. Rodri once again looking for the back of the net. This time he volleys over the bar. Burnley are only 1 point behind Leeds now, as Leeds have of course been pegged back by Brentford, so it's still all open both for relegation and Premier League. Champions League is done as Tottenham have sealed their victory. Surely that one's definitely not going to turn around, as they have 5-goal lead against Norwich, but the City fans are cheering on their team. You've just got to back this Pep Guardiola side every single time. They're so good, aren't they?
It's not over till it's over. It's been proven even before Guardiola's time under Mancini that City have this ability to get goals late on in a game. It's the atmosphere of the Etihad. It's the fact that teams sit back and defend, and that always means that City will get close to the box. If they just have the right intricate approach, then there's always going to be that chance for them to get another goal. And City now can sense that they can do this without worrying about what Liverpool are doing. They can just win their match outright.
Yeah, absolutely. Just 1 goal needed for City. They've got 10 minutes to do it. Out to the left-hand side into Zinchenko now, and I'm sure that all the fans in Anfield would have taken a sigh and a groan at the fact that City have pulled this back, but still, Liverpool could still win the league. It's all to play for. Zinchenko in the centre circle, just about, goes square to Cancelo, looking forward, looking over the top, looking in behind, as Mings cuts that one out, but it's De Bruyne racing forward, into the box he goes, down the right-hand side, across the face of goal! City have got ahead! They've got 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes, and it's Ilkay Gundogan again!
It's Gundogan again, and Manchester City can now all of a sudden start celebrating another league title. As it stands, they've gone from 2 down to 3-2 up inside 7 minutes. It's superb from Manchester City. Villa just getting caught up in this wave of Manchester City attack, and now it looks as though Pep Guardiola's side are going to be winning the title again.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal have got a 5th as well through Ødegaard, but Ilkay Gundogan, the super sub, he's whipped off Fernandinho at half-time, he's brought on Sterling, he's now brought on Gundogan, and he's got the 1st and the 3rd of these goals for City. Tyrone Mings, poor control as the ball was fed through to him. He should have been able to clear it. Great ball from De Bruyne into the far stick, and Gundogan cannot miss.
Gundogan cannot miss as Brentford go down to 10 men. It's Brentford 1, Leeds 1. Sergi Canos came off the bench, scored the goal that put Brentford level, and then I think he took his shirt off in the celebration, got a yellow card, and within 2 minutes he got a second yellow card. So it's 1-1 at the Brentford Community Stadium, but Brentford are down to 10 men. Burnley still trail at home to Newcastle by 2 goals to 1. But look at the reaction of that City bench when that 3rd goal goes in, and look at the reaction of those fans. They were probably thinking it's all over. But now all of a sudden they can celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. A goal for 2 goals for Gundogan, the substitute, an assist for Raheem Sterling, the substitute, and of course their skipper Kevin De Bruyne with an assist as well. Manchester City turning it around in 5 minutes. Oh, how they can do last day drama, can't they, Manchester City? They've gone from a horrible position to absolute elation. It's all on them now. Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa have capitulated at the Etihad Stadium on the final day. They were 2-0 up, they're now 3-2 down with less than 7 minutes to go. Surely the title race is done now.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? City are now 3 points clear of Liverpool. If Liverpool were to take the lead against Wolves, then all of a sudden things make a little bit tenser here. But you just feel as though City now have perhaps done enough to just really put Villa back in their show. But Villa are trying to push forward now.
Yeah, Danny Ings has come on as well. I'm not 100% who for. We'll have to receive confirmation of that. It may be Emi Buendia, but actually no, Buendia. He's just running around the middle of the park. Mistaken there. There's a couple of shots of the fans inside Anfield who are dejected. When Aston Villa are 2-0 up, Liverpool have chances to get ahead. If they score, the atmosphere inside the Etihad gets even worse, doesn't it? And that could have seen them through, but they didn't take their chance, Liverpool, in that period.
No, they didn't. That was the problem for Liverpool, that they needed to have taken the advantage of the situation when things were going their way. City, in fairness, had a long spell where it wasn't going their way in this game, but they stuck at it, and now they've turned things round.
Yeah, absolutely. Danny Ings on for Jacob Ramsey after that 3rd goal. So, of course, Steven Gerrard's side will go for a leveller in this one. Danny Ings, of course, another former Liverpool man who has come onto the field there as Nakamba takes a knock down on the near side after a De Bruyne sliding challenge. Looks as though there may be a goal at Anfield after all that, but a little bit too little too late.
Too little too late, as I say. Liverpool now looks like they have got a second goal against Wolves. We just confirmed the goal scorer, confirming as well that it was Jacob Ramsey that had gone off to be replaced by Danny Ings here in our game. Throw on to City now down the right hand side, but it's been cut out here by McGinn as Villa looking to try and to get the ball away from their own box.
Yeah, down the left hand side, it's a corner whipped in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Joel Matip has just about squeezed the ball over the line, I believe, for Liverpool. It may have been Mohamed Salah in the end.
Oh, it was, yeah. The one off from Matip but didn't cross the line, and then Salah gets the job done. So him and Son now potentially joint Golden Boot winners.
Yeah, joint on 23 as it stands. There's still 5 minutes, or a little bit more than 5 minutes to go. The Anfield crowd will get behind their team now. Of course, Liverpool are leading, so that means 3 points to both teams. That's what you expected before the start of the day, but we've had such a journey to get to this point. As it stands, City would win the league by a point, which means they need to hold out this game. They are full of confidence now, though, aren't they, this City side, after coming from 2 goals behind. Here comes Villa down the right-hand side. Danny Ings, former Liverpool man, looking to cross the ball into the near post. Turned away by Laporte, picked up by Foden down the left-hand side. He goes down under a challenge. Referee doesn't blow his whistle initially, and then eventually gives it after the advantage came to an end.
It does. It will be a free kick to Manchester City now. That's good news as far as Pep Guardiola is concerned. His side can just slow things down and just try to, as we could see, you could see some of the City substitutes there. Kyle Walker is furiously trying to get a message across to somebody on the pitch. You can see that the City players are really starting to feel it as well now.
Yep, absolutely. Kyle Walker bellowing from the sidelines. Manchester City will take this free kick inside their own half. Incidentally, Chelsea were pegged back by Watford, weren't they? They've now got ahead once again, so third spot is securely theirs. Dan Gosling with a goal for Watford earlier on. This is a challenge here from Marvellous Nakamba, has been punished here. It will be a yellow card for him on Kevin De Bruyne. So it looks like he stayed down here, the Belgian Ross Barkley, with that Chelsea goal. Scored a penalty, of course, in the FA Cup final. Bruyne back to his feet. Nakamba couldn't believe that the decision went against him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still trying to ask the question here, Marvellous Nakamba, but it is going to be his 5th booking of the season. And we've got around 3.5 minutes before we hit injury time here at the Etihad.
Yep, absolutely. The Zimbabwean into the book, not the first and perhaps not the last in this game. You'd expect City to use up a little bit of time as the game goes on, as De Bruyne fisses the ball out to the left-hand side to Foden. There's no onus on City now. They can just play this around confidently. I have to say, Pep Guardiola's changes have absolutely changed this game, haven't they? Zinchenko at half-time and Gundogan in particular.
Yeah, I mean, he was criticised, Guardiola, for the changes he made against Real Madrid, which seemed to have affected City negatively, but it's the exact opposite today. He's made the changes at the right time, which have influenced the game in City's favour, and they're pushing forward again now with Gundogan at the edge of the area.
Yeah, he receives the ball off Foden, now out to the right-hand side to De Bruyne. 87 minutes gone, Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 2. If you joined us just a while ago, you'll be confused by that scoreline as Sterling keeps the ball in the corner flag. There's experience from the England man as De Bruyne chases forward, goes down. He knows it's not a penalty, keeps it in play, does he? No, says the 2 officials. Will be a goal kick.
Yeah, De Bruyne is sort of trying to haggle with the linesman there, saying it wasn't the whole ball that crossed the line, but a combination of the linesman and Michael Oliver, our referee, have decided that that will be a goal kick. As we can see, another change here for Villa. It's going to be I'm trying to see here. It's going to be Emiliano Buendia to go off and Ashley Young to replace him.
Yep, so Ashley Young, we were perhaps looking at him in the first half to replace Luca Digne as he went down with a head injury, but Digne was able to continue. Young now coming on for Buendia. So both Coutinho and Buendia, the creative midfielders, are both off the field. Ashley Young, an out-and-out former winger, is often filled in at full-back, both in Italy and in England. As Watkins nods on a ball towards Ings, it's going to be more direct football from Villa, isn't it? As Rodri takes a ball down, plays it to Gundogan on the left-hand side. Zinchenko goes down the line, and now Foden can chase forward up towards the halfway line. Looking out to the left, he just takes his time as McGinn looks a little bit gassed, pulls him back for a moment. Advantage played for City. Zinchenko once again down the line into Foden. Nobody in the box, taken down by Chambers, and that's it. Nobody in the box. I think City sensing they need to just sit back there. Foden perhaps could have taken it to the corner flag. De Bruyne goes down through a challenge in the back from the Zimbabwean Nakamba once again. And City just seeing this out. Yeah,
it's going to be a free kick to City around 30 yards out, which is good news as far as they're concerned. It just slows things down, and you can see that Guardiola is panically trying to get something through towards João Cancelo there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He comes to the sidelines, Cancelo receiving some instruction from Guardiola, Fernandinho and Bernardo Silva. as he's quite frantically talking to Cancelo, isn't he? Guardiola saying 3-3, perhaps 3 at the back. I don't know for these final moments. We're inside the final minute of regulation time. City on the ball down the left with Jesus trying to hold things up at the corner flag. Final score, Norwich 0, Tottenham 5. So Son cannot get any more goals, which means it's likely he's going to be level with Salah for the golden boot, unless Salah gets another goal.
Well, there is going to be a third goal from what we're hearing at Anfield. Liverpool have just gone 3-1 up. And if it is Mo Salah that's got that goal, then he is going to be the out-and-out Golden Boot winner. We're just getting a replay of that goal there, and it's Firmino cutting it back, and it's actually Andy Robertson that's got the goal. So Liverpool have wrapped things up against the Wolves. They are now 3-1 up in that game, so there certainly won't be any surprises there.
Time usage here from City, up at the corner flag at the right back position for Villa. The ball's gone out to play though as Jesus drags that one out, as Brighton have taken a 3-1 lead as well against West Ham. That's a good result to finish the season on, isn't it? Danny Welbeck with that goal. So crucial goals there. It looks as though it's all going Leeds' way, unless Burnley can find a last-minute winner against last-minute leveler, against Newcastle. Of course, Brentford 1, Leeds 1, Burnley 1, Newcastle 2. 4 minutes of added time at the Etihad. City fans all on their feet, basked in the sun, watching their team bring the title home. Foden on the ground, going to be receiving some treatment. This is just what you expect from the City players.
Yeah, absolutely. If City were 2 down now, Foden wouldn't be getting this cramp at all. He'd be up on his feet and waiting to play on as quickly as possible. But yeah, the focus now shifting on the relegation battle with Brentford against Leeds. That game is into 5 minutes of injury time. Although Leeds are down to 10 men in that... Brentford are down to 10 men in that game. So Leeds will perhaps feel as though they have enough to at least hold on to that result. And Burnley, looking at the stats, have had more shots than Newcastle in the second half. But say that time is slowly winding down for them. Ederson now has gone down for Manchester City, which is a problem because they haven't got any more subs left.
No, they don't. But I'm sure it's not as much of an issue as we're perhaps thinking. We're inside added time, right in the final game of the Premier League season. Manchester City are leading, which means that they will win the title as it stands by 1 point yet again over Liverpool. Ederson inside his own box down here was holding his left hamstring. We'll see how this one goes, but all the City fans...
92 points to not win the league is something else as well, isn't it? As far as Liverpool are concerned, that really is a bitter pill for them to swallow. And it will be one of those where I think that they've just got to look at everything else they've done this season. They've won the 2 domestic cups, and they're still in with a great chance, of course, of winning the Champions League. Yeah,
absolutely. Looking to today, they had a chance when Villa were 2-0 up to put even more pressure on City by getting ahead, but City just had a crazy 5 minutes where they scored 3 goals, 2 thanks to Gundogan, 1 thanks to Rodri in between. You look at the Villa defending for them and perhaps think they could have done better. But of course, Liverpool can't blame Aston Villa for this result. They've just got to blame themselves for not going into the final game of the season being ahead. Ederson still holding that left hamstring as Manchester City knock the ball out of play. Down the left-hand side will be a Villa throw. 92 minutes gone. 4 minutes of added time. We'll perhaps get an extra minute or so on top of that due to the City players going down in Foden and in Ederson. Jesus now on the corner flag, holding things up, knocks one back against his own teammate Foden. Nakamba gets a toe in. It's De Bruyne who picks it up, drives to the corner flag once again. Don't want to foul him, but also don't want to give away set pieces, and it's exactly what they've done. De Bruyne wins a corner.
Yeah, it's good news for Manchester City because it means they can just slow things down, set things up for this corner kick. And Pep Guardiola, he's still not calm here. He still wants the game. He still wants his players to just focus on these last few seconds. It's a short corner taken now.
Yep, short corner taken. There's Ashley Young battling in there against Jesus. Will be a throw-in. The last 5 minutes or so have been in the far right-hand corner of our screens as we watch on. City fans in full voice in the final day of the season. Once again, it's taken final day heroics for them to just about get over the line, as they did 10 years ago through Sergio Aguero. Today, heroes are Ilkay Gundogan and Rodrigo in midfield. We're inside the final minute of added time now as Jesus has the ball in the corner. It's time running away for Aston Villa and for Liverpool, as it's going to be a throw-in on that far side. John McGinn will launch it down the line. Who will win it? It will be a City man, but it goes back into the air. Won again by De Bruyne. Cleared upfield for Villa as it's headed out by John Stones now into the midfield area. Battling between De Bruyne and Ashley Young. It's won by the City man. Played forward into that exact same corner once again, and Jesus gets his body in front of Matty Cash. The Villa players look resigned to defeat, and it looks as though Leeds have secured.
They have, yeah. Jack Harrison with a goal, seconds away from the end of the game. Hits it with the left foot from the edge there. It's a really good strike from Harrison, and Leeds United are going to be safe regardless of what Burnley do now.
Yeah, absolutely. A brilliant trip for Leeds on the final day down to Brentford. Absolutely elated scenes down at the Brentford Community Stadium as Villa come forward here. Down the left-hand side, Digne into Douglas Luiz. He chips the ball inside as he keeps it in play. Guardiola's just about keeping out of the way there. Plays it down the line. It's then smashed away by Cancelo. We've had the 4 minutes out of time, but there were 2 players that went down Pep Guardiola. You might wave to the referee, but the game can't finish yet.
I think Michael Oliver's going to play an additional minute here. In fact, no, he's not. The referee has blown his whistle, and Manchester City are the champions. It's been a really tough afternoon for them. They were 2 down at one stage, but it's City who win. Liverpool are still playing their last few seconds against Wolves, but that's it. Manchester City are the champions, winning by 1 point. There is a pitch invasion. We were hoping there wouldn't be. There are those flares. We were hoping they wouldn't have those as well. But Manchester City are the champions. Burnley have been relegated after losing at home to Newcastle, and Leeds have won away at Brentford. But that's it for this Off Cheap Shooter commentary from myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Matt Guy. Thank you very much, and do join us again soon.